Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Dish Yelta Confusion Thursday Night Hangout.
Are you sure it's actually Thursday and not like a Monday, Wednesday, Saturday? Because I get confused about these things.
God, I hope it is Thursday, but it's been that kind of day, so it wouldn't surprise me, but I'm pretty sure. Let me look at my calendar. Yes, it says it is a Thursday.
Okay, what if I lived in a different country, like halfway around the world?
It's either, are they behind us or in front of us? I can't remember. The international date line.
What do we actually know? I'm so confused
If
now.
you're in Russia, you're like on like a Tuesday, and then if you're in Alaska, I think you're on Wednesday, or maybe it's Tuesday, Monday. I don't know. Well, anyways, so ladies and gentlemen, this of course is the Thursday Hangout. This is a show. Oh, sorry. I, of course, am your host, Charlotte. I'm joined once again by the political commenter himself, Zealeus. This is the Thursday Night Hangout. It is a weekly live show where we try our best to cover the topics that are most important to you during our show. If you haven't gotten a chance yet to submit your topic, by all means, drop them in any of the chats, be it on the YouTubes, the Books of Faces, and the Twitch. And we will try to cover as many topics as possible. If we run out of time, we will just push that topic over to the next show.
Because there's always topics, because there's always something new going on in the world, is there not?
Isn't that amazing? How that works
I mean,
out?
it is a world that we live in, or so I'm told.
Yes.
I mean, is it?
This is very...
Or is it not a world? I get confused about these things myself.
I don't know. All right, so let's just jump into the first thing, and the first bit of news is it's actually kind of cool. That is that there are two different independent creators or organizations out there that have decided to join forces and to make a mobile game based off of a card game.
Mm-hmm.
The team that's going to be creating the phone version, or I guess the mobile game, is Cellbloc Studios, which of course we know as Dr. Unity, as well as Star Quest Tales.
Oh yes, the good guy stuff.
And of course, I've interviewed James from Cellbloc Studios, and then here comes the really crazy part. On the other end, they're collaborating with a company called Mythica Gaming. And Mythica Gaming is the creators behind a game called Legends of Draxia.
Draxia? That sounds like a mighty warrior indeed.
And interestingly enough, I actually interviewed the creator, Jimmy, at Chattacon 2 years ago.
Like from Jimmy Eats World?
No, different Jimmy. Oh. But anyways,
okay.
So they're going to be coming together. It's a solid card game, and I don't see any problem with it going mobile, but it's kind of cool to know basically all the parts in this one.
Nice.
Just for those out there who are wondering, long ago, Draxia was overrun by monsters and magic. Legendary adventurers rose and brought hope by slaying beasts, building cities, and mastering the mysterious Muna. Okay, side note, sidebar, whatever. Is it mana or mana?
Secret of Mana.
That's what I thought.
I have to I can't say it on its own when you put it that way. Like I have to think about it, like within the context of something else, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, I it totally makes sense. And it's just, it's, potato, tomato, all that stuff, but it's always interesting. All right, so let's talk about...
It's a tomato.
Tomato.
You're a tato.
All right, so let's talk about the next story. The next story is that Square Enix has made a deal with the game publisher Forever Entertainment to create multiple video game remakes for the company.
Because remakes are everywhere.
Absolutely. But here's the interesting thing. And I bring this story up simply because we've been talking about the fact that Activision has killed off basically all of Blizzard except for its name, and they've replaced it with they have decided who's doing the Blizzard stuff. In this instance, Square Enix is like, hey, we know we got a shit ton of titles we would like to make remakes of, and we choose you, Pikachu. I mean, what? So, I find it interesting that, it's I don't want to say it's night and day, but I have higher expectations from Forever Entertainment on these remakes of Square Enix games.
Well, I feel like Square Enix, though, they're still producing new content.
That's true.
I mean, I know they're still like they're redoing Final Fantasy VII, and
Mhm.
I'm sure they're going to redo other Final Fantasies. Let's be honest, but it's not like they'll just be like, you know what, screw it, we're just not going to do anything for the rest of our lives. They're still creating Final Fantasy, so
Yep.
it's not particularly groundbreaking, but they do other games in kind of RPG realm. So on one hand, yes, but on the other hand, they're still at least trying to do things. Versus just kind of sitting there and hoping that your one or two titles continue to make money.
Agreed. Now, there's a couple of franchises that Square Enix owns that could get a little bit of love thanks to this partnership, and those would be the Saga series, which I think I played like the third one, and it was solid, but then I never played it again. I never played any other ones. Star Ocean, the Drakengard series, and I think there was another one. Let's see if I can scroll here real quick. Let's see here. I think they were in charge of Panzer Dragoon. Yeah, I think they were the guys behind Panzer Dragoon. But I mean,
Could be.
they're all solid games or solid franchises for that matter. I'll be very interested to see if you were a company that's being asked to remaster or remake some of the games, like Square Enix games, would you have the freedom to choose which game in that franchise, or do you think that Square Enix would be like, you only make Saga 3?
I mean, my assumption would be Square Enix has already decided that they want to remake Epic Saga 3.
Right.
Versus them reaching out to Alta Confusion Incorporated and be like, well, which one of these games do you want to remake? My guess is the Magic Bean Counters have already decided that this is the game. And I would imagine they also put some certain parameters around it. It's not just a free for all of, do whatever you feel like. Do you kind of go the Diablo 2 Resurrected route where it's literally a remake?
Reskin.
It's literally a just remaster. There's absolutely like no mechanical changes to it.
Mm-hmm.
Or do you go like a full from the ground up reconstruction, including the code and stats and spells and et cetera, et cetera?
So more like Mass Effect.
Yes, that's actually what I'm really curious to see is what. I mean, we already know what the effects. I mean, I guess really the two big remakes coming up soon. You got Diablo 2 and you got Mass Effect. Those are like the biggies.
Mm-hmm.
Diablo 2, we already know what that remake is going to be.
Garbage.
For better or for worse, it's the same game with better graphics. Take that for what you will.
Yep.
So chances are at some point, not day zero, because I've learned my lesson in that, but at some point I'm going to buy Diablo 2 Resurrected, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to happen. The real question is, what is the Mass Effect Legendary Edition? I think they're calling it, if I remember right.
Yeah.
What is that? Like, my guess is that's more of a remaster than like just a reskin.
Right.
Is kind of how it seems. So that's what I'm going to be really interested to see. Is
all Mako all the time.
Oh, I'm going to throw this at you through my screen.
Come on, Zealeus. You know you love driving that Mako. So, actually, you're right. I don't know why I would think that they'd give it like, oh yeah, just choose any of from this series. But okay, so let me rephrase my question, and the audience, of course, can chime in on this. Do you think that they would have the ability or wiggle room to maybe try to do some enhancements or some tweaking in the mechanics or the storyline or whatever, or is it going to be just a reskin?
I would assume, especially if it's a developer who's done it before, that they would have some room for improvement. I'd be leery of probably allowing the storyline, because that's probably something that's kind of written in stone.
Yeah.
But I think mechanics and stuff like that, not an over rehaul, but there's certain things you can tweak that I think that's a bit different. that I think is, a bit understandable in that case. Um, keeping it the same game. And I mean, my assumption would be is that would probably be a pretty early discussion. Square Enix comes to Ultra Confusion is like, hey, remakes Epic Saga 3.
Mhm.
And after a month, we're like, hey, Yoshi, what do you think of us changing this?
Right.
I mean, I'm assuming they're not going to spend 2 years doing this new mechanic without mentioning it to Square Enix.
True.
Be like,
True.
oh, by the way, we changed the storyline, and the warrior is now actually a dark wizard. Yeah, that probably would not go
And the
well.
final dungeon is now a Hooters.
We actually just ended up making it a space saga game, set against the backdrop of ancient Warhammer. Hope that's all right.
Using the Diner Dash algorithm.
And all in one dimension.
Yes.
With 8-bit audio.
I'm very interested to see what comes out. I'm sure that Square Enix does their stuff, and if they've chosen Forever Entertainment, then I'm sure that we'll see some awesome stuff. I just, can't wait to see what the actual list will look like. Now, speaking of franchises, the story that keeps coming back because more information keeps coming out about it is, of course, the Borderlands movie. We had talked in the past that Eli Roth has been attached to it. Then you had Kevin Hart as Roland, Kate Blanchett as Lilith, Jack Black as Claptrap, and now you have, Jamie Lee Curtis as Dr. Tannis. And now you have Ariana Greenblatt as Tiny Tina. Now, if that name does not sound familiar to you, if you watched Avengers Infinity War, the first one, where you see the kid Gamora, that's the actress.
I think it's cool that they're keeping it a kid. I mean, it seems like in trying to cast people, they're keeping it somewhat true. I still question Kevin Hart a bit.
We've had this argument several times. It's not that Kevin Hart can't act. It's just that Kevin Hart's a little short for Roland. But they could do the Rocky treatment.
We'll see what happens.
Right.
I mean, I question Eli Roth too, but who knows? Maybe it turns out a comedy action is exactly what he needed to do all this time. Maybe that's where his talent truly lays. Whatever it ends up being, I hope it's just not some stupid spy movie of like, we must break into this mine and steal everything, but we're going to come up with a top secret plan that we're going to allow us to sneak in. No, it's Borderlands. There's a big ass vault with hundreds of millions of enemies. You just come in the front, bloody door, blunts of gazing, blowing shit up. That's what I want to see.
So, I've actually been playing they just re-released the Telltale games, Tales from the Borderlands.
Oh,
so it's good. But we're bringing up, we're talking about the Borderlands movie. I have about 1 million times more faith in that movie than I do with whatever the hell this Dungeons and Dragons movie is, where they have tagged Hugh Grant and Chris Pine. I'm like, are we basically gonna redo the the 2000 Dungeons and Dragons garbage fest that had some good names on there?
Wait, we get Arnold Schwarzenegger as an ice mage. Just say,
right. Well, I mean, Jeremy Irons, Bruce Payne. I mean, there's Marlon Wayans.
Oh gosh. I mean, at least like with Dungeons and Dragons, you can make up the story. But
can we make it like good?
Like it needs to be like a true fantasy epic. I don't know.
Sorry. So to draw a parallel with the fact that wow, Jeremy Irons is part of the Dungeons and Dragons movie as the villain. Hugh Grant's actually going to be the villain this time around.
Hugh Grant is?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I really don't know how I feel about this. It's not giving me the warm fuzzies. Let's put it that way.
Maybe he'll be really suave or something,
You think that Jeremy Irons would be a badass mofo with that accent he's got and his stage presence, but did not come off that way.
I don't know what to say.
I guess we'll find out.
I have no opinion about it until it actually happens. At this point,
That's true.
It's a superhero movie. I mean, not a superhero. Gosh, it's a video game movie, so I'm skeptical by default.
Is it video game though?
Okay, fair.
Hairs.
It's a nerd remake of some sort.
It is a movie based in an established universe which means is praised by nerds.
It's not Marvel, so actually hire Marvel to make the D&D movie. That's what they need to do.
Yes.
Then I'm on board.
Yes. Okay, so since we're on this movie train, let's go one more movie. And this is actually really exciting for me. I don't know about anybody else out there, but it has been revealed that there will be a District 10. The sequel to District 9, which of course was released in 2009. That many people said was what happened after the whole Halo movie thing blew up, and they basically said, well, we still can make a sci-fi movie, and then they basically wrote something, and District 9 happened. Neil Blomkamp was behind it, and he is writing this one as well. I want to know. I really want to know what happens at the end. What after the end of the movie, where it's going to go from there? Because, damn it, it was a cliffhanger for me.
It was a good movie too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll probably watch it out when it comes out, but it's not something I'm honestly waiting on the edge of my seat for. Especially because I think I don't know. I haven't decided when or if I'm going back to the movie theaters to watch movies again, because I kind of like watching them in the comfort of my own couch.
Yeah, I think I'm going to just stream. Maybe, like some kind of like special reward for the kids, but it's not like, oh, that new movie's come out. 9 out of 10 times it's you can either go to the theater or you can probably pay a little bit of a premium and just rent it so you can watch it at home.
Yeah, or yes, for honestly the same price that it costs to go out to less for the movie, you could just watch it probably on HBO Max or Paramount Plus or any streaming service. Get that for the month and basically watch for the same price.
Amazon Prime.
Yeah. So I'm kind of like, I mean, if there comes a opportunity like another equivalent of like Avengers Endgame, where it's a true experience, that might be different. Actually, you know what movie I would totally see in the theater, or actually I want to see in the IMAX, which I finally watched?
What's that?
Master and Commander.
Haven't seen
it. Basically, it was the movie with Russell Crowe, where he's basically a English commander back in the days of the golden age of sailing. And the action shots, like when they're going through the waves and like fighting other ships, was clearly made. Like some movies are just made for the big screen.
Yeah,
that was one of them. I mean, it's still a good movie. I still enjoyed it. There's actually a decent story, but holy crap, watching on the IMAX, that's one movie where I watched. I'm like, this I need to see on IMAX, which probably never going to happen, but you know.
Yeah, I don't think that I don't know. There's probably some movies out there that I might sneak out to an IMAX, but I mean, it would have to be something that would just blow my mind. But of course, they're like, we're writing on a script, so you don't know when it's going to come out, but still,
yeah,
it's good that there's even talk about it. So that's something. That's more than some other movie series I could give examples of,
like Scary Movie 18.
Oh Christ, we're not gonna. Oh Lord, no.
Just another teen movie. 42.
Oh my God, no. Okay,
I'm just trying to help.
Okay, so let's go a little bit on the heavier side. That is, as you know, being a dick, especially online, is a bad thing. But being an uber dick has consequences. hopefully more times than not.
There's Uber dicks and just regular. I'm very confused.
So there is an Irish teen that is a hell of a fanatic for FIFA,
Okay.
the video game. Well, it turns out that while playing a match with against someone and losing said match, this person decided to attack the real on verbally and through social media, attack the real life character, athlete. So Ian Wright was Ian Wright is the soccer player who used to play for Arsenal, which is a huge, big European club, and this kid decided to do racist tweets, Instagram posts about how terrible this guy is, and you lost me the game, and like, all right, slow your roll, man. It's you. It's not the player.
That sounds pretty whacked. It sounds like the kids. Yeah, that just sounds stupid. Just learn to play, noob.
Now,
or pick a team with Messi.
So the offender has apologized and was spared a conviction after he pled guilty, which of course made the soccer star go, I don't know, that seems like the guy's getting off pretty easy.
Pled guilty to what?
Huh? That for
making like
racist remarks.
Well, shit. I didn't know that was illegal in other countries. If that was illegal in the United States, half the country would be in prison.
It depends on who's on the bench. But let's not go there. Basically, what happened was the judge said he didn't see anything to be gained by opposing a criminal conviction. He also said that this young man showed genuine remorse for his actions and donated 500 euros to the Irish Network Against Racism. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So I harass someone on social media, at least sending 20 or more messages that's, just completely racist. And all I have to do is stand in front of the judge and go, I feel remorse. And here's $500 to a network against racism.
Well, it's a very different mindset because in the U.S., that's not really illegal. I mean, that happens all the time, and it's just turn off your social media comments or, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's like a normal day in a first-person shooter on Xbox, sounds like to me.
I do want to point out that that the one company or the one piece of this puzzle that actually did something worthwhile is this gentleman has been perma-banned by EA.
Now that's perfectly acceptable to me.
Yes.
I guess that's a place where I don't really feel like the government really needs to get interjected into it in terms of like legal punishment. But absolutely, it's a game that a company, for any reason that they deem worthy, can ban you from. And that, I think, is the absolute right path to take. And I would say other companies go ahead and ban his ass preemptively.
Yeah. Be like, give me your gamer tag. We're just going to make this easy.
There you go.
Look, the thing is, the one thing that I will say, and this is why some of these things go to court, is because not every act of violence has to be physical. This can be mentally traumatic for an individual to be constantly bombarded with remarks that belittle or degrade himself, his race, his gender, his whatever. So, I mean...
So what about like every Reddit female poster who gets a dick pic in her responses? Should those guys also be held liable for basically reality is sexually degrading them?
Yes,
okay.
But chances are you're not going to be able to put a face with a dick. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, that's what it boils down to.
Database. Who needs fingerprint when you can have this as your identifying? Oh,
we have your blood type. We have your social media.
I changed my mind. I changed my mind.
But it's wrong to do dumb shit and racist stuff and bigoted stuff and sexist stuff. So let's try to tone it down.
No, I mean, absolutely. The unfortunate thing is I don't have a good answer to this, but it's so much of the underbelly of what's usually private messages or intended to be private messages.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's so much out there you never hear about that are completely misogynistic, completely racist, and should not be said to anyone because they're just pretty much evil things to say. I guess for the most part, people become, unless you know who that person actually is in real life, there's almost like a numbness to it, or it's like, oh, it's another one to delete.
Yep.
Which is unfortunate and crappy. I don't know what the solution is, though. Other than obviously, don't be a dick is a good one to start with.
Let's do what was it? Real ID by Blizzard. Let's do that again.
Well, I was thinking. So not Real ID, but I was thinking. So I made my comment about like banning all of his gamer tags, which is obviously not really possible. But if you want to go, I mean, this is like some hypothetical situation. We go all in, and all of your gamer tags are, let's just say, tied to your social security number, for instance. Obviously, this is US centric now. Are all tied to your social security number. So let's just say you are a racist D-bag, and you send all these messages to somebody on, let's just say, Overwatch.
Mm-hmm.
Blizzard detects it. Boom, bans your ID, which it's not advertising that that's your security number, but in the back end, there's this whole database. So boom, talks your social security number, and now you're retroactively banned in EA and Riot Games and all these other platforms because you have to tie your gamer tag with your social security number.
A universal gamer blacklist. Interesting.
Basically.
I don't think
it's possible, but it's just an interesting idea.
I think this is probably still illegal, but I think maybe a slightly more feasible one would be, at least for the company that's banning the individual, is credit card.
I feel like I've seen that. That's what they actually ended up doing with the what was it that they did with the PS5s?
Hell if I
forgot. They enacted something. Having a total brain fart. Oh, two-factor authentication, right? So not necessarily credit cards, but your cell phone is another way of doing it. So what you do is you basically tie your video game to a cell phone number, which is authenticated via two-factor authentication. So kind of the same premise, which is probably actually a little more plausible than your social security number. Sure. But in that case, your phone number gets banned. It could be a true repository.
Of course, what happens if I turn in my phone and someone gets that number?
No, I mean, there's always a way to game that system.
Oh, I know.
Absolutely. Yeah. And because that's what they've started doing with consoles is you like basically one console per a phone number, or at least try to.
Yes. Try being the key word. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to do Friends of the Show real quick, and then we're going to jump into the big topic, which is going to have Charlie jumping all over the place on his soapbox. So let me take just a deep breath of air while we do the Friends of the Show, and then we'll get into it, okay? Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. If I could find the dang thing. There it is. The Indie Cluster is an organization of independent game developers that want to gain exposure by being involved in the community. They collectively journey to popular conferences as a traveling booth to help gain attention for their games. They make partnerships in local communities to bring games to the mainstream mindset. They highlight local, unusual, and rare concepts to challenge the paradigm of the common. They also host events to teach kids and minority groups about game development to hopefully one day enter the industry themselves. For more information, go to http:/indiecluster.com. Hero Chiropractic is a unique healthcare practice set up by Ryan Moore, the company's focus to elevate a patient's experience of freedom, creative expression, and joy. They believe that everyone can be a hero and has incredible heroic potential inside themselves waiting to be unleashed. Hero Chiropractic focuses on mobile chiropractic care in the greater Atlanta area. They are committed to healing clients by creating a plan of action uniquely suited for each person. They make that plan of action as convenient and affordable as possible, and most importantly, suited to your individual needs. For more information, go to www.herochiropractic.com. Nerdburger Games is the game design imprint of award-winning RPG designer Craig Campbell. Craig has done a whole bunch of RPG design freelancing in the past. Several years ago, he dove into designing his own RPG. Now, Nerdburger Games has multiple RPGs and is showing no signs of stopping. Nerdburger Games endeavors to create games that explore corners of the RPG landscape that haven't been explored, or haven't been explored very often. These games forego dense gaming mechanics in favor of a lighter rule set that allow players to focus on telling fun, engaging, memorable stories. After yet another successful Kickstarter, their library has increased in size. Currently, the games that at least Zealeus and I have played are Capers, Die Laughing, Mercs and Acquisitions, and of course the soon-to-be-played Good Strong Hands. For more information, go to www.nerdburgergames.com. Battle & Brew is Atlanta's first and oldest gaming bar and restaurant. Opened in 2005, Battle & Brew had a very modest menu, a few beer taps, and focused heavily on gaming. Now, they have grown to encompass so much more. They pioneered geek trivia in Atlanta and remain the hardest trivia in town. They have upgraded the menu from only a few items to all your bar favorites, and some soon-to-be favorites. They've expanded the gaming and kept everything top of the line. They've taken a good place and made it a great place. A place where the staff listens to your desires and suggestions. A place where you and your friends feel like you're at home. A place where everyone knows your game. For more information about Battle & Brew, go to www.battleandbrew.com. So, I lied just for a second here, and we're not going right into that because we got to tell you a little bit about some self-promo for Alter Confusion. Alter Confusion is participating in Extra Life for the 10th straight year. Extra Life is gamers doing what they do best, gaming, to help sick and injured children at their choosing Children's Miracle Network Hospital. The money that is raised through Extra Life will go directly to our choice, which of course is Children's Healthcare Atlanta, as unrestricted funds. This means that the hospital decides where and how to spend the money to ensure the dollars you raise make the biggest impact in the lives of the kids they treat. Just go to extra-life.org. You can search for Alter Confusion. You can pull us up over there. All right. Also, Alter Confusion has a Patreon. Alter Confusion survives on the love and support of fans like you, and so we have a Patreon page. Patreon lets you, the fans, supporters, become active participants in the work we love through a monthly membership. This gives you access to exclusive content, community, and insight into our creative process. In exchange, we gain a bit more freedom to do our best work and the stability we need to build an even stronger creative career. Currently on Patreon, we have two different pay levels. There's a $1 pay level, which would be $12 a year, or a $5 pay level, which would be $60 a year. If you're at the $1, you gain access to some of the early stuff that we roll out, as well as you get to help with polls and surveys. And of course, if you $5 or more, you get put into the Friends of the Show thank you spot on our show. And of course, all the other stuff for the $1. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to send something physical to Alter Confusion, all you got to do is mail it to 1551 Dunwoody, that's Dunwoody, Village Parkway, number, super important here, number 88276. That number, once again, 88276 is the P.O. Box number. If you do not include that, it will not get to us. It will be returned to you within 3 to 5 business days. The city is Dunwoody, once again, Dunwoody, Georgia 30338.
Yeah.
And now that I've gotten that out of the way, let's talk about the thing that's really pissing Charlie off today.
Charlie's pissed off about something?
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to talk about a representative from Illinois who's currently filing a bill for the state of Illinois to ban video games, violent video games, completely from being able to sell in Illinois. So basically, what of course there is a bill right now that's, it restricts the sale of violent video games to minors, which, yes, you don't have. It shouldn't have to be said, but that yes, that make people liable for it. Yes, but what he wants to do is he wants to basically this amendment is going to include all age groups, and he wants to update the definition of violent video game to include games that perpetuate human-on-human violence in which the player kills or otherwise causes serious physical or psychological harm to another human or an animal. So I'm not going to lie, that basically is every single game out there. Mario is violent because you're causing psychological trauma towards all those Goombas that you're jumping on. Let's go a little bit further here. This gentleman also wants to update the definition of serious physical harm related to video games so that it would include psychological harm and child abuse, sexual abuse, animal abuse, domestic violence, violence against women, or motor vehicle theft with a driver or passenger present inside the vehicle when the theft begins. Can you guess what game he is basing this damn bill on?
Grand Theft Auto.
Correct.
So I'm amused as I'm reading about this because apparently they noticed similarities in local carjackings in Grand Theft Auto. Yeah. And my question is, exactly what differences did you expect to find? Like, exactly, precisely how many different ways are there to hijack a car?
It'd be like getting pissed at Madden for giving a perfect or close to perfect representation of throwing a touchdown. Like, how else am I going to do it?
What about violence on aliens? What about Mass Effect?
Right. That I'm immediately thinking Halo. I'm thinking Gears of War. I'm thinking, of course, all the Call of Duties and Battlefield. Sorry, Sam, if you're out there, they're gone. I mean, what is your? This pisses me off.
Basically,
look,
any serious studies ever showed there is video games do not cause violence, and furthermore, is we already have things in place like the ESRB with ratings, and perhaps maybe the parents need to parent their kids and not let them play the violent video games. And we've had history throughout all of history, we've had much worse violence than we currently do today. It just seems like there's more because of social media, and it's all right there in your face. But if you actually look at the crime statistics as far as violent crimes, et cetera, even though people have more access to video games, everything's actually trending towards less violence, especially from a severe violent perspective. So if you want to draw an absolute correlation, you could say the less religion in people's faces, the less crime there is. So therefore, maybe we should ban religion, because the higher the religion rate, the higher evil crime was. So maybe that's what we should ban.
No,
I'm not obviously I'm not being serious. Obviously I'm not being serious, but that's why I hate these correlations.
You have to ban fast food.
Oh yes, more fast food, more violence. Yes. Wait, that's probably actually where most violent food-related crimes happen, is at fast food restaurants.
Agreed. No, hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am a father of two, and I have to tell you, I actually pay attention to what my kids are playing. How hard is that? It is not a babysitter. It is not a teacher. It is not a replacement parent. Yes, there are educational games out there, which some of them are fun, some are boring as shit. And there's also some games out there that I've already had to ban for my kid from playing. It's called being a parent. This numbskull, I mean, come on. You
So
know
here's a
why?
real
You know
question.
why there's more carjackings right now? COVID. Everyone's out of a job. They're trying to get a quick bit of money. They're going to jack the car, basically rip it for pieces, get some money.
So what about actual violence on animals, like hunting? Does he want to ban hunting too? Because that's actual violence on animals and not just imaginary.
Oh, deer hunter's definitely gone. How
Oh,
about
what
that
if?
Bass Pro Fish game?
Ooh, yes. What if I, as a kid, see my dad go fishing for a fish and he hooks a fish?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's actual real violence on fish.
And the
So
blood's
maybe
everywhere,
now my
man.
dad
The
should go to
blood's
prison.
everywhere.
It's terrible. The thing that actually really pisses me off about this
Mm-hmm.
is it's a classic case of some dipwad politician actually doing something stupidly useless. And I do believe that there is good that politicians can do. I do think that they can be a force for actually doing something useful for society as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
Then you get stuff like this, which just makes you want to go smack every politician across the face. I'm obviously not advocating for that, but it's just like, really, this is what you're spending your time doing is completely useless stuff like this. Because unfortunately, now it means it's going to take up time in their legislator, and then they're going to have to debate it and all that stuff, whereas you can actually be spending time on more useful things like, oh, I don't know, helping out the poor or people under opiate addictions or other things that actually governments should be helping with for the community and not doing stupid, useless stuff like this. Oh,
Okay, I'm gonna just. I
you made
have
me angry.
no. I just have to add this part that we'll go to the next story, and because Zealeus was talking about laws and stuff. If you okay, I'm gonna try to gather my big boy words here.
Use more than one syllable.
If you lost something, let's say you a popularity contest, okay, that doesn't mean that you should have everyone rewrite the rules so you can win next time. It's not like, well, the Buccaneers beat the Chiefs, but they weren't supposed to. So what we're going to do is we're going to retroactively make the touchdowns worth negative points. Like, no, it's not how you. I love.
Sounds like you're basically talking about gerrymandering.
I'm talking about Georgia and their fucking laws that are coming through.
Yep, I know.
Okay.
And gerrymandering. Yeah.
All right, let's talk about. We've talked about a couple games over the past couple weeks that have been canceled, and we're going to add one more to that list, and that, of course, is actually I think it's just a case of we wanted to try to revamp a game, and it's just not going to end well. We talked about Anthem, so let's talk about Artifact 2.0, the card game from Valve, and they have officially thrown in the towel. Basically, so for those who may not know what Artifact is, it's a digital collectible card game based in the same universe as Dota 2. And apparently, they're at the point where there's just not enough fans or users for them to actually continue this reboot. However, if you are interested, they will do the Artifact Classic game, which is, I guess, 1.0, is now free to play.
Well, from what I read, the entire game, including 2.0, it's all online free to play, both the classic and the current 2.0, whatever that is. It's all available to play without any microtransactions.
Now it is.
Now, yes,
Yeah.
it was used to, but now it's all free to play online.
Yep.
I actually played it years ago.
Would that have been in 2018?
Could be. I don't know.
When it got released?
But the whole premise is it's 3 lanes.
Yep.
That's really all I remember about it. And there's some other like quirky rules. But that's kind of the whole premise of it's basically a MOBA card game. So you have to like fight your lanes and then go kill towers and stuff. I didn't play very long, obviously, but I remember the 3-lane idea. The 3-lane concept was interesting. Yeah. But I imagine Steam is happy just, having the 30% cut of their entire digital marketplace.
Yeah, buddy.
I will say at least, I mean, Steam could just be sitting there not making anything. They at least still try to make the occasional video game.
Yes, yes, they
I
do.
mean, we see
It's
plenty
a
of
very
games that
rare
don't succeed.
occurrence, but
Yeah, you do what you do.
and I feel like this next story, it's basically I don't think we could go consecutive weeks without talking about someone suing or having issues with Twitch. So there is a user by the name of, let me make sure I get this right, Dr. Witnesser, who has been perma-banned from Twitch because of hateful conduct in January. So basically, this gentleman, I believe a Christian
Evangelical.
evangelist, while playing a match of Fortnite, apparently got a little preachy and basically told a child that was Muslim that you're going to hell and there's no way to save your soul. So the official reason, of course, was engaging in hateful conduct. And of course, this gentleman has moved on to YouTube, but now he's suing Twitch because he thinks that it was unlawful termination of his Twitch account on the basis of religious discrimination. You're the one who discriminated.
I wasn't aware that you couldn't. I mean, we allow people not to sell cakes based on religious beliefs. So therefore, why shouldn't you be able to ban somebody based on your religious hate? It goes back to it's a private company or publicly held, whatever. You don't really have any rights to be able to access their system. That's not how it works. Twitch is under no legal obligation to allow me to access their system. I mean, they could block my IP address tomorrow and okay. That was fun, Twitch.
Well, the other thing is that and this is one of the reasons that this is toxicity 101. You're absolutely going out of your way to be toxic towards an individual in a very hurtful and harmful way. It's a kid who's a Muslim.
Yep.
I would go after someone who's trying to go after my kid because of the color of his hair or the color of his skin or something like that. That's ridiculous.
So, in other news, did you see the exciting news about Nintendo?
About how the next generation of Switch is going to have a more powerful screen?
So it will actually be 4K when docked.
Okay, now Zealeus is starting to feel it in his bones.
It's going to have the fancy OLED 7-inch screen, still 720p most likely.
Hey now.
Well, okay. Well, and I think the most important thing is it's probably the 4K, most likely upscaling, not true 4K.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to be able to do true 4K, but the actual proper upscaling for the Pro Edition, which I think is pretty exciting.
Right.
Because I think it makes sense to me because if you're holding your screen this close to you, honestly, those pixels between 720 and 1080p ain't going to make a whole lot of difference.
No.
Especially because it's mobile. And if you upscale all of a sudden now to 1080p, you're also going to kill the battery. Probably holding a flamethrower in your hands too. So as far as, and you got the OLED screen, so it's automatically going to look better. So I say, yeah, keep it 720p so you got better better battery.
Mm-hmm.
But the upscaling to 4K for the TVs is pretty exciting, actually. So, yay. The question is, will anybody be able to actually get their hands on it? When we saw the original Switch, you can get it, but you kind of have to look for it. It's kind of.
Mhm.
But that was hard to get for a while. The PS5 you still have to search for. I have no idea about the status of the Xbox. Is that hard to get? I don't know.
I don't know. I'm not.
Um,
I'm not in the market for any of those, so I wouldn't know.
but I imagine when the Switch Pro or whatever it's going to be comes out, is going to be a extremely hard commodity to get.
Mm-hmm.
What I'll be interested to see too, once Nintendo officially talks about it, is it basically like the PS4 Pro and the Xbox Pro, where any Switch game plays on both the originals, the OG Switch, and the Switch Pro, as it's being dubbed.
Yes.
I hope so.
They're not Sony.
I hope so. I mean, I
and
hope
they're
they.
not Microsoft.
Yeah. I don't know.
Like,
Well,
oh
I
yeah,
hope
yeah.
have a new console.
You could, yeah. You could continue to play the games, dudes. We got no problem.
Because I'm personally like, if it's the Pro, I personally don't see a need to buy a new Switch console.
Mm-hmm.
But it's always good to me to see Nintendo continue to come up with new products, because having that competitor against Sony and Microsoft is only a good thing.
True that. So speaking of Nintendo, I know that everyone has been just decimated by what COVID-19 has taken away from all of us. There's not going to be a MomoCon. There's not the E3 is going to be completely virtual. Comic-Con's now going completely virtual. And of course, the thing that's hidden Nintendo fans really close to the breadbasket is the fact that the city of Orlando, Florida, their Super Nintendo World is now being their opening's now being delayed to 2025 because of COVID.
Wow.
It was supposed to originally be slated to like early 2023, but now it's pushed back 2 years. So it kills me that I still won't visit that. Not gonna lie, I lived in just north of Orlando for 2 years, and I'm good.
Apparently, half of our school in East Cobb went to Disney over winter break already.
Oh,
so
yay.
Who knows? Although from what I've been told is, if you want somebody to run like your mask protocols, have frickin' Disney do it. Like, they actually have cameras, and they'll announce over the PA, excuse me, Mr. Zealeus, please pull your mask over your nose, or you will be forced to leave the premises.
Yep.
So like, they're actually like watching like hawks the entire time. And the funny thing is, they said, guess what? At Disney, kids had no problems wearing masks for the whole day.
Yeah, because Mickey told them to.
And they knew if they didn't wear it, guess what? They had to leave.
Exactly.
Let's imagine what happens when you enforce the rules, kids.
No, it's just lawsuit because I want to get my Trader Joe's. I don't want to wear a damn mask.
Trader Joe's, I think, is the only grocery store that still like enforces any actual rules.
Kroger and Target, man. At least the ones I go to. They won't let you come in.
I don't know. The Kroger that was near me closed, so I have no idea. I haven't been to Kroger in
the
a while.
Target in Sandy Springs, just or just south of 285. They've got the mask and sanitation station right inside the door. They hand that shit off to you.
Nice. I'll tell you who doesn't is gas stations. Those are free for all games.
Yep. Yeah. I feel like there's another story I wanted to tell you, but now I can't remember. Zealeus, do you have any things?
So here's a weird one to me.
Yes, sir.
So a game I've had my eye on is Marvel's Avengers, which is the MMO from Square Enix, more like the action MMO, which came out to a whole slog of issues and basically amounted to it's not a fun game. And one of the issues was always it's a grind fest. Now, coming from the old school MMO world, that's not atypical to me, but I guess nowadays you can't have grinding in MMOs because instant gratification. But it is interesting to me that in a game that is struggling, especially for a Marvel game, should take off, is that so it's being released on the next gen consoles, meaning the Xbox Series X and the PS5, March 18th. And to kind of get players enticed and interested, they've had like XP boost and et cetera, et cetera. Well, apparently they're actually increasing the EXP requirements to top out your character for the new gen
Christ.
consoles because they were confusing players by being able to gain levels too fast.
I,
Which I find interesting in a game that's struggling mightily to get a player base right now.
it'd be like, we're gonna do we're going to sell you the $1 hamburger for 50 cents. And then everyone's going, whoa, 50 cents. And they're like, wait, hold on, let's correct that. That hamburger is 50 cents. You only get one if you give me $1. Then, oh my God. Seriously, like, the reason for XP boost is to get people into the game faster so that they don't have to do the initial grind. By going, oh shit, you're actually leveling up. We don't want that. Then why even do the XP boost? There's no reason to do XP boost because you're just negating all of that.
Yeah. So I'll be interesting to see though if this game actually succeeds. I mean, obviously it's got Square Enix and Marvel, so two big names. But for everything I've read about the game, it's just not fun.
There's a couple games that come to mind that to me are not fun.
Yeah.
In my personal opinion, I've got nothing against them, but Eve has always been a very boring game to me. Which ironically, I was watching a Netflix show that was actually from Iceland, and there's a couple episodes that had there's a spinoff of Eve called Valkyrie, and so you saw there was a kid who was playing Valkyrie, and they talked about it. It's like, oh yeah, I love this game. It's in the Eve universe called Valkyrie. I'm like, holy shit.
That's crazy, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah. I haven't played it. Don't really. Well, I know I did play Eve years ago. Many years ago.
I fell into it a couple times when no offense, but when I got really freaking bored, I was like, oh, I've got time to just watch, just to it's basically an idle game. Go mine that rock. I'll be back in an hour.
Oh, I remember when you were into it.
And all I did was mine. I wasn't all that freaking exciting. All right, let's actually talk about something that is exciting, and that is the fact that it has been revealed that there is going to be a live action adaptation of one of the biggest movies to come out of Studio Ghibli, Spirited Away.
Why?
Why not? You got Lion King, you got Aladdin, you got The Little Mermaid, you got insert what was once a cartoon, now live action movie here.
And weren't all those better in their original incarnations?
Okay. It's a trick question. Okay?
Fair enough.
To me, personally, I think that what they did when they went from the classic Disney to the live action was absolute trash garbage.
Okay.
But that being said, there are individuals out there who will favor the live action over the original because the original probably has some biases, maybe like, racial undertones that as a child you didn't realize. And if you were to go back there now and watch it, you'd be like, oh my God. Because they PC'd the shit out of everything. Not that it's a bad thing. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but I'm just saying that, I watched doing a live adaptation of of a movie that centers around nothing but animals.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Like, it's just another form of animation. It's CG. You're not teaching the lion to speak.
Maybe they actually are speaking, and that's the greatest trick they've played.
Oh, they're all part of the devilhood, huh?
See, you
Mm-hmm.
letting the wool cover your eyes, sir. If only you knew the truth behind the scenes, it would all come to light.
I'm just look. The thing is, I'm actually very interested to see what a live action Spirited Away is because there are definitely. I'm if I were to look at like some of the animated movies,
It would feel like a cosplay convention.
I there are certain animated movies that I think, yeah, that could be interesting doing, doing a live action. I don't. This to me sounds like that seems like an interesting idea. That was my immediate thought instead of why, which is exactly what I've thought every single live adaptation of a Disney movie.
But part of what makes the Studio Ghibli
Ghibli, yeah.
movie so good is the animation.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Well, we already had that huge backlash
oh yeah,
because of was it the earwig thing? I can't remember the full name.
I know what you're talking about. We talked about that a couple months ago.
Wait. Oh, it's not a movie.
What's not what? Now I'm
It's a
confused.
stage play.
Okay, that's actually a little bit different because that's how
Mm-hmm.
Lion King. Remember, Lion King was it was the animated, and then it was the stage. So for
But they
me,
made it
being a
their
stage, it makes
own. I loved the animated, and I also loved seeing Lion King, like the Broadway musical,
yeah,
because it owned its own space.
yep.
It's not well. What we're gonna do is we're gonna basically water it down, and we're gonna take all the offensive stuff out, all of it, and we want to even remove anything that could be perceived as offensive. So we got to remove certain colors from the movie, not skin colors. There's actual color combinations that are now affiliated with what do you call it? Hate groups,
Mm.
which is ridiculous. Also, certain hand signs. If you hold your hands a certain way, oh, yep, that's the Brotherhood of the Broken Tortoise-shelled Snake of Red Blood.
I love my red blood tortoises.
That would
Uh,
be actually interesting, though. I mean, to see
that,
because
that's a little bit
apparently,
different. Yep.
yeah, no, apparently, and I really want to now after reading more about this, someone did a live action Princess Mononoke on London's new Diorama Theater,
Mm.
which I would have been very interested to see that one too.
Well, it seems like when you do a Broadway or something like that
Mm-hmm.
show,
Mm-hmm.
you have to be creative, right?
Yes,
Like you just
yes.
like, and that's their strength is their creativity of their animes and movies.
Mm-hmm.
Same with Lion King. It's like you had to be outside the box. You could do really interesting features versus to movie. That's when you start bringing in, and that's how Broadway is. It's the creatives. Whereas when it's Hollywood, that's when you start bringing in Hollywood, which is not always a good thing because that's when you start dumbing it down for the lowest common denominator.
Money.
And just
That's the common denominator. We believe that this combo will make money. We'll slap name on there, but it won't have anything to do with this name because our focus groups
yep.
who don't know anything about the series think that this is a better idea.
And that's when you start losing that creativity and that charm because it loses that when you focus group the hell out of everything.
Yep.
So yeah, if it's a production like that, that's you could do something really interesting with that. So I'm all for it.
Sam, Hollywood used to create art. Now it creates money. No, what it does is it basically believes that they may potentially be making art, but they have lost the concept of what art is. And then people are dumb enough to, just on name recognition alone, be it the stars or the name of the movie, to just go, that's amazing, have money. Which is probably why I'm enjoying the hell out of a lot of these international like TV shows that I've been watching on Netflix. Because you could see, I don't know, originality. It's not okay. Sci-fi story. You've got an outlaw guy. Oh, Rudy Cat rules. I like the matching headphones and microphone. Thank you.
Well, that's like, did you watch Space Sweepers? Like, that was a great movie,
Oh
full of
God, it's
heart.
great.
And I mean, that was
No risk
great.
taken anymore. They rather remake Scooby Doo because the name guarantees money, even if it stinks. Same principle with the vast majority of AAA titles.
But that's why I find like what, like for instance, Netflix and Amazon are doing
Mhm.
is they are. I mean, a lot of it's poo. I totally get that, but they also do try to do new series that aren't just necessarily a bastardization of everything that's been done or a rehash.
Mhm.
Um, I know that has its whole set of issues because they're basically throwing against the wall to see what sticks. But I feel like there is some originality in their shows that they try to do. So that's where most of my watching is, not your typical Hollywood, but those shows, because there's some like interesting, like I really enjoyed, for instance, oh, what is it, the Winx Saga, the
Mhm.
Winx Chronic, like that was really fun to watch. Or what was that other one that I know it's on like the second, or it's like on the second season. The I can't think of what it is.
Sorry.
Umbrella Academy. So that's where I think some of the good stuff is. That's my opinion, at least, about that.
That is subjective. No, the beautiful thing about streaming, and this could kind of go along any type of digital distribution system, is that you potentially can have your product seen by a lot more people, and a lot more people will have access to that, for better or for worse. So you can see a crap ton of crap, but then you're also going to find these hidden gems that you're going to stumble upon and go, holy shit, I need more of this in my life.
You know what I really need more of my
What's that?
life?
What's that?
The Witcher.
They're doing a spinoff already. Oh, speaking of spinoffs, the anime for Pacific Rim just dropped on Netflix. I watched the first episode and a half. I don't. It's not really grabbing me just yet. I'm hoping that kind of ramps up.
I know I saw that and I was very confused. Like I haven't watched it, but I saw the preview.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, Pacific Rim? There was
Mm-hmm.
another movie? Like I
Yeah.
really had to think about what was this. Because that's the thing though, is like random stuff just shows up on Netflix and you're like, what is this? And it's just like, and I think that's maybe a difference between like Netflix and Amazon and like Hollywood. Like in Hollywood, you knew months in advance what this new movie was about. You already
Mm-hmm.
basically knew the plot
Mm-hmm.
because you saw the previews. Whereas now you see stuff with absolutely zero context, like the new oh god, what's the one you just mentioned? Pacific Rim. You're
Dude,
like,
we talked about it on the show. Zero context. Only Charlie brought it up a couple times on the show. I mean, but besides that,
no,
no.
like
I
on Netflix, there was zero context. It just showed up one day on
right.
Netflix with
Well,
no
right.
warning or
You're
anything.
the going to be totally honest with you. The vast majority of the time that I get notifications on Netflix, I just ignore them. That bell will go have an astronomical number next to it because I'm not going to pay attention. I'm going
Oh,
on
I turned
Netflix.
it off.
I'm going specifically for X, Y, and Z. And so that's basically the only way that you're going to find out about some of these things is because of that. We saw that you liked this one, so check out this one.
Or I do find interesting is I check out what's the top 10 today list.
And then I scratch my head half the time going, why is this in the top 10?
Doesn't mean I actually watch them. I just find it fascinating.
But why is iCarly still in the top 10?
Because lots of people younger than us watch Netflix, sir.
I find it funny that actually one of the stars from iCarly said that it has done irreparable damage to her mentally and she wished she never did it. In that the lasting impression impression that you want to have.
I say that every day I wake up. Man, having to wake up is doing irreparable harm to my soul. I wish I could just sleep here all day long instead.
Oh god, yes. And also, one of the very few shows out there that could actually get away with doing staggered releases, WandaVision,
Mm.
is supposed to. I think the finale just dropped or is about to drop. I don't know, but I'm hooked. I gotta know.
I don't have Disney Plus, so I haven't seen it.
I gotta know. I gotta know. I have to know, sir.
When the next Mandalorian season comes out, I'll get it, and that's why I'll binge stuff on Disney Plus. That's my plan.
There you go. Oh, by the way, the other Studio Ghibli movie that was not hand drawn animation that everyone's going batshit nuts and going, this is terrible. It's called Earwig and the Witch. Figured I'd look that up in the background while we were chit chatting. As I was saying, as I stated, I am playing Tales from the Borderlands. That is the game I'm doing for the playthrough. If you are a patron of Alter Confusion, you'll get early access to the playthrough for each of the 5 episodes.
I'm still playing Horizon Zero Dawn on the PS5. Great game.
I've also continued to pick up or continue to play Legends of Runeterra, which if you tuned in on Sunday, Tuesday, and then for a little bit yesterday, because a big content drop just happened in Legends of Runeterra, which added a ton of new cards with new abilities and stuff, and I'm like, oh. Sam has a question. I recently learned Baby Yoda isn't Yoda. It's a baby species of Yoda. Please confirm. The answer is yes. It's not Yoda. Zealeus?
Mm.
And there's your 2 cents from Zealeus.
I mean, I haven't watched Mandalorian, so I don't know.
What good are you, Zealeus? Gosh darn it.
I feed myself and my cat. That's about all of the use in the world I have.
Touche.
Beyond
Now,
that.
Now, I do want to point this out because apparently I've just forgotten this piece, but is Boba Fett the Boba Fett? Yes. So I have been neglecting to inform all of you amazing people out there that if you are interested in catching up on all the past episodes, you can go to YouTube or to Podbean if you want the podcast version, or you can go to YouTube for the video version, or of course you can just go to www.alteredconfusion.com and look in the past show section of the website, and you can watch and listen to all the previous shows. All right. I apologize. I'm getting distracted by a basketball game to my right. My alma mater is in the playoffs, the conference playoffs. So I'm trying to.
Who's winning? What's the score?
72-44. Went through.
Yeah.
Yeah, baby. Anyways, so I think we'll just wrap this up. I basically made it to the end. I going to be totally honest with you. I did not know if I was going to get sick or not during the show, but
I'm glad you did not.
I muscled through. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank everyone for tuning in to the Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout. For myself, Charlie, and Zealeus, it's been a pleasure giving you everything come our heads, our mouths, and of course, our hearts. We'll be back next Thursday for another Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout.
Americades, keep on gaming in the free world.
Amen to that, brother.
That means you, Illinois.